It's Friday, July 14th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including one town being hit hard by last night's storm. Later on, we also take a look at the top stories of the week across all of our news sites. John Kovach in today with a look at the forecast, and later on, a Nutmeg Sports update. And of course, Donald Lang will join us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Weston was hit hard in the aftermath of yesterday's storm. This morning, 978 homes were without power. That's 26% of the town. Numerous crews worked throughout the night trying to clear trees and debris and restore power lines from yesterday's brief but damaging rainstorm that produced lightning, high wind gusts, and hail. Restoring power has been daunting due to the number of downed trees and wires. That, according to Weston's Emergency Management Director, Joe McKelly, who was up throughout the night overseeing that cleanup. He said there are trees and debris everywhere, but you can get the latest updates at thewestonforum.com. And in other news, Milford police arrested a local man for allegedly doing donuts on Laurel Beach property in May, causing thousands of dollars in damage. 23-year-old William Varnum of 92 Maple Street was arrested on a warrant July 2nd and charged with the crime. He's accused of doing donuts with his Nissan pickup on the Laurel Beach Association property on Court Street and of steering his pickup truck at a bicyclist who tried to stop him from creating further damage. Police said Varnum ran over the bicycle after the cyclist had fallen off of it. Varnum is charged with reckless endangerment, criminal mischief, and evading responsibility. He was released from police custody on a promise to appear in court on August 8th. And Wilton High School teacher and Ridgefield resident Michelle Cota, who's 47 years old, was arrested for driving under the influence without a license, as well as operating an unregistered vehicle and following too closely after being involved in a collision on Danbury Road in Wilton on Monday, just after 3 p.m. The incident near the intersection with Westport Road involved Cota's vehicle striking another car from behind. There were no injuries. After determining that Cota may have been under the influence, Wilton police administered field sobriety tests and a breathalyzer, which showed she had a blood alcohol content of 0.2167. That's more than twice the legal limit. Cota told police she had been on her way home from lunch at a local restaurant where she said she had only had one Bloody Mary cocktail. Cota was released on a $250 bond and will appear in court on July 24th. And a number of higher-profile crimes in Trumbull, combined with a rash of thefts from unlocked cars in the region, have some residents fretting about crime on numerous Trumbull-oriented social media pages in town. The numbers, though, tell a different story. With one notable exception, overall crime in Trumbull is lower than it was a year ago, and that trend is increasing. Through the first 6 months of 2017, there have been 590 reported criminal incidents in town, that according to the Trumbull Police Department's Records Division. That compares favorably with last year, where there were 618 such incidents, a decline of about 4.5%. Well, the disparity is growing as the year continues, with 197 and 102 crimes in town in April, May, and June, respectively. That compares to 108, 100, and 114 for the same 3 months in 2016. Among the specific types of crimes, larcenies accounted for the bulk of overall crime reduction, but there's a lot more on that at TrumbullTimes.com. And Darien police are investigating the theft of a MacBook Pro from Alcone Marketing Group at 320 Post Road in Darien. An employee reported that a silver MacBook Pro valued at $700 was taken from her desk drawer sometime between close of business on June 30th and the morning of July 6th. The area of the victim's desk is secured and only employees and cleaning personnel with a key fob have access. There were no signs of forced entry in the office and no other valuables reported missing. The company's IT department said that software loaded onto the laptop would notify the company when it was turned on or connected to the internet. No such notification has been received yet. The victim told police the outside doors of the building have had problems locking recently, and a homeless person had been found sleeping inside the building's lobby at one point. Another of the building's tenants were questioned, but no other thefts were reported. And in other Darien news, a Bronx, New York resident was arrested for attempting to cash a fraudulent check at Darien's TD Bank on July 3rd. Bank employees reported the attempt at about 5:30 p.m. and the suspect left the bank when their check and ID were confiscated. Police were able to locate the woman in question across the street on the employee's description, and she was identified as 24-year-old Emily Ramirez. A bank employee said Ramirez had requested to cash a check for $1,679 with a New Jersey ID. The card had Ramirez's picture, but not her real name, and appeared suspicious to the employee. The name and address on the card matched the check, but the employee took both items to their supervisor for confirmation. At that point, Ramirez left the bank and police were contacted. When questioned about the transaction, Ramirez admitted to attempting to make a fraudulent transaction. She went on to explain that she was approached by a friend about making some money by cashing a fake check. She was also introduced to two males who she refused to identify, who gave her the paperwork and the ID to use in that attempt. All right, well, let's switch gears now. Throw it over to John Kovach, who's filling in today with a look at the forecast. John, you were a little wet when you came in this morning. A little bit like last Friday.
No, I wasn't as wet as last Friday, but I was a lot wet. Not as bad as last Friday, but this is another of those Fridays that is just get through it. Just get through today. Get everything done because you've got some nice weather coming up. But the rest of the day, you've got showers. They're supposed to end around noon, then cloudy for the rest of the afternoon, and then around 5 o'clock when everybody starts getting out of work, isolated thunderstorms and scattered thunderstorms. The difference, don't ask me, I'm just filling in today. I'm not going to look it up. But isolated and scattered thunderstorms tonight, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Then it's nice all weekend. After a low of 66 tonight, high in the mid 80s tomorrow, slight chance of rain. Low in the mid 60s on Saturday night. Sunday, sunny, virtually no chance of rain. High 86. Currently, it is 64 in Stamford, 62 in Norwalk, Fairfield, and where we are in Shelton. Back to you, Kate.
All right, much cooler today. Big difference from yesterday. Thanks so much.
It really
John.
is.
Yeah.
It was a harsh difference.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, we are going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. John has an Nutmeg Sports update, and there's more local news coming up after this. Celebrate summer with fresh made-to-order picnic boxes from Walter Stewart's Market. We have delicious summery selections from buttermilk fried chicken to grilled lemon chicken kebab, grilled shrimp Caesar salad wraps, or lobster salad rolls. Our easy-to-carry picnic boxes come with your choice of a meal, as well as a dessert, beverage, and utensils. Order online for simple pickup options. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and online at stewartsmarket.com.
I can't believe it.
Well, Dad, you did it. You sold 160 cars. Ready to go back upstairs now?
I think it's time. I wonder how the boys are making out in their new office.
Not what I had in mind, Kyle. What, Dad?
Maybe we should retire. Right now, lease a 2017 Rogue S for only $139 a month. Isn't it time you got Millerized?
At Pure Barre Ridgefield, our tried and true method can shape every body and fit any schedule. Pure Barre is a total body workout using the ballet bar to perform small, isometric movements which burn fat, sculpt muscles, and create long, lean physiques. Sweat away the day and get lost in the music. Pure Barre Ridgefield, located at 86 Danbury Road. Like us on Facebook at Pure Barre Ridgefield.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now at the summer clearance event. Going on now through July 31st.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this July 14th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, it is a Bastille Day look back in history, as everyone might imagine. And that brings us to our first item, 1789. During the French Revolution, the Parisians stormed the Bastille. It was a medieval fortress in the heart of Paris that had long been used to detain political prisoners, although at the time it was stormed. It contained only 7 prisoners, only one of which could be sort of loosely considered a political prisoner. But the Bastille had become a symbol of royal excess and abuse. After the garrison of 114 surrendered, it was the timely arrival of a handful of National Guardsmen that prevented the mob from literally tearing the guards to pieces. The unit's commander, the Marquis de Lafayette, remember him? To 1881 now, Billy the Kid, shot and killed by Pat Garrett outside of Fort Sumner. Accounts vary about the exact nature of the events. The official story is that Billy didn't recognize Garrett as he entered the room and asked, "Who is it?" Garrett recognized Billy's voice and shot him. Claims that Garrett had unfairly ambushed Billy led to the book, The Authentic Life of Billy the Kid, which we'll have to take Garrett's word for it about what happened. Never sold well, but it has become a resource for historians. Rumors of Billy's survival are numerous, and as late as 1948, living people were claiming to be the actual Billy the Kid. 1995, the Recording Industry Association of America introduces the MPEG Layer 3, also known as the MP3. MPEG, by the way, stands for Moving Picture Experts Group. The technology allowed CD-quality audio recordings to be stored on a computer using less than 10% of the space that an actual CD would require. It also allowed for the development of the iPod and for rampant online music sharing and sometimes outright theft. Finally, now we go to 1960, Tanzania, for this.
Then, in 1960, a daring young Englishwoman set out to sort fiction from truth. She had been warned, "You'll never get near the chimpanzees," but she was determined to try. Her name, Jane Goodall. She was 26 years old and destined to make scientific history.
That was Jane Goodall arriving at the Gombe Stream Reserve in Tanzania to begin studying chimpanzees in the wild. She would spend 55 years studying them, and though her research methods have come under some criticism, she has unquestionably changed the way we look at our closest evolutionary relatives. As you look back in history for today, July 14th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, Dave & Buster's restaurant is headed to Milford with plans for a spring 2018 opening. Hearst Connecticut Media reports with one state location in Manchester among more than 100 in the U.S. and Canada, the Milford restaurant in the Connecticut Post Mall would be the chain's first in southwestern Connecticut. The current closest locations are in Pelham Manor, New York, and Palisade Center in West Nyack, New York. Founded in 1982, Dave & Buster's includes a restaurant along with arcade games and screens for watching sports, as the company calls it, Eat, Drink, Play, Watch. Kelly France, the Milford Mall's marketing director, said Dave & Buster's represents a change for the shopping center. She said, "We're excited to add a whole new element to the mall in terms of entertainment. People want to harp on stores closing, but malls are changing, and we have to be able to meet consumers' needs." All right, let's throw it back over to John Kovach for a Nutmeg Sports Update. John, what do you got for us?
Kate, Dave & Buster's might be as close as anybody gets to sports today, I'll tell you that, given the weather as it is. On the schedule, the Bridgeport Bluefish scheduled to end the All-Star break with a game at York. They've got 3 at York over the weekend before they come home to take on the Somerset Patriots and then the Maryland Blue Crabs. All that next week tonight in York. Saturday, weather should be better for the start of the State American Legion tournament. All 1 p.m. starts except for North Haven at Bethel. That is an 11 a.m. start. East Haven travels to Guilford. Norwalk up to Palmer Field to take on Middletown. Stamford will host Oxford at Cubetta Stadium. Winston will play Enfield at Fermi High School. Berlin will travel to Muzzy Field to take on Bristol. New Britain up to New London, and Windsor Locks will take on Niantic, that at East Lyme High School. Games continue on Sunday. It's single elimination for the weekend. As next week starts, becomes double elimination. We'll be following the State American Legion tournament on Nutmeg Sports that week. That's going to do it for a wet and abbreviated sports report. Back to you, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, John. Well, a car in New Canaan is trying to get a very important message across. Take a look. A car with the message "Kidney Needed" was spotted on Elm Street on Tuesday, July 11th, and the phone number listed is 203-666-6993. Now, you can get more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And Kathy Kangas of Prey Beauty, based in New Canaan, announced this week that she's bringing the beauty brand's national Free the Shelters campaign to her home state of Connecticut by sponsoring adoption fees at PAWS, which is the Pet Animal Welfare Society in Norwalk, and DAWS, the Danbury Animal Welfare Society. The no-fee adoption event at the two shelters begins today, Friday, July 14th, and continues through Sunday, July 16th. Now, PAWS is located at 504 Main Avenue in Norwalk, and it will be open from noon to 5 p.m. on Friday and noon to 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday for those free adoptions. Prior to arriving at the shelter, prospective pet owners need to complete an adoption application on their website, which is pawsct.org. Now, DAWS is located at 147 Grassy Plain Street in Bethel, and that will be open from noon to 5 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday during the adoption event. Those interested in the free adoption programs need to go to the shelter's website at daws.org and complete a form. Now, you can get a lot more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss the top stories we're following this week on your coffee break after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance event. Going on now through July 31st.
You don't have to go far for authentic Neapolitan cuisine and renowned wood-fire pizza. Pizzeria Loretano of Bethel is a contemporary Italian bistro, specializing in authentic wood-fired brick-oven pizza Napolitana. Pizzeria Loretano was named one of America's top 1,000 Italian restaurants in 2008 by Zagat, and recommended by Jane and Michael Stern on National Public Radio's Splendid Table. Located close to the Bethel Cinema, we focus on quality, and our food is always made to order. Join us for live jazz Sundays from 6 to 8. Find our schedule, menu, and more at pizzerialoretano.com, and like us on Facebook.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
School's out, the weather is hot, and the fish are biting. Whether you're heading to the beach or out on a boat, stop in at the dock shop before you go to fill your beach bag or tackle box with everything you'll need for fun in the sun. A new beach cover-up, some sunscreen, or just some bait, the dock shop has you covered from either location. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. And yes, you heard that right. Bait is now available in Darien and Westport. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
Welcome back to this Friday edition of your coffee break on the HAN network. And since it's Friday, we're taking a look at the top stories across all of our news sites this week. And the top story across all the sites is one we brought you a little earlier in the show. And that's that Wilton High School teacher and Ridgefield resident Michelle Cota, 47 years old, was arrested for driving under the influence without a license and operating an unregistered vehicle, as well as following too closely after she was involved in a collision on Danbury Road in Wilton on Monday. Now, the incident near the intersection with Westport Road involved Cota's vehicle striking another car from behind. There were no injuries. After determining that Cota may have been under the influence, Wilton police administered field sobriety tests and a breathalyzer, which showed she had a blood alcohol content of .2167. That's more than twice the legal limit. Coda told police she had been on her way home from lunch at a local restaurant where she said that she had only had one Bloody Mary cocktail. Coda was released on a $250 bond and given a July 24th court date. And other major news this week is that a longtime custodian at Samuel Staples Elementary School has been arrested on child pornography charges. Derby police charged 49-year-old David Habetz of Derby on June 22nd with illegal possession of child pornography in the first degree. Now, Habetz was released on a $15,000 bond, and his next court date is August 1st. Derby police notified the Easton Department, according to Chief Tim Shaw. Easton Detective Kent Lyman worked with Superintendent Dr. Thomas McMorrin and Principal Kim Santora Fox, and they supplied everything the detective needed, Shaw said. McMorrin fired Habetz in March after learning of that investigation. Superintendent McMorrin told the Easton Courier that I find this matter deeply disturbing, as I'm sure all the members of our school community do. And another top story is that a Stratford Town Council member plans to file a lawsuit against the town of Stratford to challenge Mayor John Harkin's issuance of tax bills without a mill rate being set. Now, Marianne Mitziantezo, the 7th District Councilor, announced at Monday's regular council meeting that she intends to legally contest Harkin's action to have tax bills sent to residents with an effective mill rate of 39.97, with no mill rate or budget for the fiscal year in place. Antezo said Tuesday that it's the town council's job to set the rate. She said, I'm going to challenge the fact that Harkins essentially set the mill rate, accusing the mayor of conducting business in the dark. Now, while town attorneys told the council on Monday that Harkins did not set a mill rate, even while making an emergency call to send out bills, Antezo says she's not buying it. She says they can call it anything they want, but it's a mill rate. Now, there's much more on that story and budget drama at StratfordStar.com. And finally, another of our top stories this week was news that a landmark in Reading, the Reading Roadhouse, has again closed its doors. The bar, restaurant, and event venue on Reading Road is owned by Kate Wright, who also owns Reading Ridge Market and Deli on Black Rock Turnpike. Wright plans to continue running Reading Ridge. Now, Wright said she's closing Reading Roadhouse because she can no longer keep up both businesses. Her late husband, Jordan, who ran the business with her, passed away from cancer in November at the age of 40. The couple has a 1-year-old daughter named Autumn, and closing the Roadhouse, she said, was a decision we all had to make together. There's a lot more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. But let's take one final look at the forecast with John. John.
Thanks, Kate. Get through today. Just keep an eye. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's Saturday. We're going to have a nice weekend, but right now, showers winding down right now. It's not going to get much higher than the upper 60s today. We're going to have a cloudy afternoon. We should see the sun around the time rush hour starts. That's going to bring with it isolated thunderstorms. Tomorrow, sunny, mid-80s. Saturday, sunnier, mid-80s. Going to be a beautiful weekend, Kate, right now. 62 in Fairfield and Shelton, 63 in Norwalk, 64 in Stamford.
Thanks so much, John. Well, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. Now, I am out on vacation next week, but Frank Granito will be filling in, so be sure to tune in at 11 a.m. on Monday for the latest local news and sports. Have a great day and stay dry.
Good luck with that.